Mishpancinco Usteshpa, Omenewan. I just want to say big cubo, big what's up, positive energy to all my campolitos and campolitas out there. Today I'm going to talk about midgets. But in order to not be offensive to them, we're going to use the word little people, and we're also going to use the word little person. Um, So, anyways, going back to juvenile halls, right? I was in juvenile halls. I'm about 15 years old, and I see a bunch of homies right there from all the barrios, and I see a little person. A little person. His name was Little Man from Santa Paula. The staff, the juvenile hall staff, didn't even have shoes his size, so they let him keep his Nike Cortez. And I was in the lockdown unit. He was serving food. He didn't have no enemigas right there, so he was serving the food. Everybody else was on lockdown in that unit, and I went to yard maybe once with them, and I got into a fight with some of my enemigas. Before I did, I spotted Little Man. He had tattoos. He looked like a cholo. He was a cholo, and that's the first time in my life I ever seen a little person who was also a cholo. The second little person I've ever seen was he's kind of notorious in the city of Oxnard. His name's Chucky from South Oxnard. He's a hardcore cholo. Now that one right there, the first time I ever seen him, I was in a car with one of my older homies, and I thought it was a younger person walking around, but then I seen it was a little person, and I was like, oh, and they flashed gang signs, they threw gang signs at us, and we went back, and they ended up being from South Oxnard. Back then, my barrio didn't have no pleito with them, we didn't have no beef with them, the hoods were cool, so we shook hands, we took off, and later on I seen them in county jail. He ended up being a very level-headed individual. He ended up being a very intelligent person, and he was down to fight. He would get crazy with anyone who disrespected him, and he was always ready for whatever. I have nothing bad to say about Chucky from South Oxnard. See, when you get to prison, right? When you get to prison, there's certain unwritten rules that you should know out of courtesy, just courtesy rules unwritten, you know what I mean? Like, I'm chilling in prison, right? I never been to a level 2. I never been to a level 1. I've been nothing but level 3 and up. 3, 4, 270 and 180. That's all I've been to. And but when I was I was in reception before I started like doing more time. Like when I first arrived in reception, they placed me in and this was not my first time. This is like a violation, so just in case later on you want to get it mixed up, this is not my first time. But one of my first times, they placed me in a dorm, right? In reception, not in mainland. They placed me in a dorm, and I get this older homie. He was already like very, very old. And he was from Nipomo, Nipas in the 805, area 805. And he gets there, right? And I'm waiting for a bunkie. I didn't have a bunkie, so I kind of noticed he was Mexican and he was an older homie. So I said, you know what? They're probably gonna put me with them. So I went up to him and I was like, hey, homie, where you going? I said, and he was all like, he gave me the bunk number. I forgot the bunk number, and I think they call him T-Rex or whatever they call him. You know what I mean? He gave me the number. I was like, oh, you're my bunkie, homie. So I grabbed the mattress, put it on my shoulder, and I grabbed his bag and I told him, Kyle. When we got to my rack, I put my rack on the top. I put his on the bottom. I made his bed, and I helped him get everything in order, and I told him, you can have the bottom rack. Anything you need me to do for you, I got you, OG. You know what I mean? And the reason why I did that, nobody told me to do it. It's not in the rules. None of that. The reason why I did that is because when I see when I see older people, I see it could happen to anybody. It could have been my parents, you know what I mean, my dad, my uncles, anybody of age. It could have been anybody, you know what I mean. And I would hope that if my parents ever went to jail, you know, my father or my uncles, somebody will show them the same courtesy, you know. So I'm just putting positive energy out there in the hopes that, you know, if one of my family members ever went to jail, they get the same courtesy, you know, which I hope they never do go to jail. They're normal people regardless, you know. But even if it was a cousin or an uncle or uncle through marriage, like I still wouldn't want to see you striving like that and getting there, and there's a 19-year-old on the bottom bracket and you're on the top. You already can't even really walk, you know. So anyways, I did that for the older homie, you know. The dorms were cool. I met a lot of good people in there, you know. I seen people, you know, just having fun, making cakes, whatnot. But foundation of the story, bro. Wasco's a reception center, and it had like a level 3 and a level 1. So in the level 3, they only had like 1 or 2 buildings. It was always like either 2, 3, or 4 and 5, or 3, 4, and 5. Plus the gym was always reception. Like it fluctuated back and forth, you know, like depending on how many inmates they had in the Wasco mainland, you know. So every day, in order to go to breakfast or dinner, you gotta walk from one side of the yard to the other, to the chow hall. If you've been to prison, you know what I'm talking about. And there's so many people in reception that they're always in and out of the chow hall. So they'll call C-section in building 5, and C-section in building 3, C-section in number 4, and put you on 2 different chow halls. And by the time you're leaving, by the time you're done eating, you see a gang of inmates, you see a gang of people, you know what I mean? Everybody's dressed in orange, CDC orange. And I seen this African American little person. And at first I was like, what? So I looked over there, right? And it was an African American little person. I tripped out, bro. Because he was like I'm not trying to say ghetto, but yeah, he was pretty ghetto, bro. He was from the hood. He was talking loud. He was cabuleando, you know what I mean? Just giving carrilla to other people. People were giving him carrilla. And next thing you know, he gets a job, and he was the one that cleans the tables when you're done eating. And for like a whole month that I was there in that yard before I left to a mainland, I seen him every day, bro. And it was just like, damn, man, like that's the first little person I've ever seen in prison. And so I've been seeing little people all through my incarceration trajectory for years, you know. But those were the ones that I could remember off the top of my head. And with that being said, I've been reading a few comments that are negative in nature, talking about the quality of my videos, talking about the quality of my accent, or whatever you want to categorize it as. I'm going to tell you straight up. If you ain't going to contribute financially, don't talk about my quality, because I don't need to hear that. Now, if you really want to help, shoot me some money and I'll buy something better. If you don't want to do that, then just don't even bring it up. Besides that, I just want everybody coming here to stay positive and transmit positive energy instead of coming here and be negative, you know what I mean? Because I'm not going to pay no attention to it. And if I feel like you're offending me or any of the other subscribers, you're just going to get blocked, and it is what it is, you know what I mean? We don't need none of that here. I don't have that much money, but I do have a job, and and I do pay my rent, I pay my bills, so YouTube is not paying me at the moment. I haven't even got my first check, therefore I'm not gonna be investing too much money into it, because even if I did, I don't really know how to navigate through the realm of technology. I don't know technology that well, so. But anyways, you guys have a good one. Wally Yo Wale, Tlaso Kamati Ashante. You already know what it is.